Hi there. Welcome back to episode 2. Why is it so hard to return from war? Thank you for joining me on my channel, The Gentle Warrior Journey. Please go check out our Facebook page as well. We have an event coming up on Memorial Day to honor Travis Bradley. He was a staff sergeant in the Army. We'll be doing a memorial ruck march from Richland, Washington, over to his resting place in Walla Walla, right outside Walla Walla in College Place. So go check out our Facebook page, The Gentle Warrior Journey. Would love to have you follow us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And let's get into this episode. So episode 1, we covered how I lost my purpose as a returning soldier from the Iraq War. I had a lot of wear and tear on me, both physically, mentally, and some emotionally. And in this episode, I'm going to cover why it was so hard to come back from war. This is my point of view. Let me know in the comments below if you've experienced the same things, or you have a loved one kind of feeling how I felt or acting the way I acted after I returned from war. The whole purpose of these episodes is not only just to talk about what it's like as a veteran, as a soldier going through this battle after the battlefield, but it's also to help those around them to identify and really be that support system for them. A lot of us try to push you guys away, but please fight harder and support those that you can see this definitely happening to. It's really hard to return from war. It's hard for you as the loved ones, the parents, the spouses, the brothers, the sisters, the friends that see the change. I mean, none of us come back the same. And as I've always said, I learned this from just kind of soul searching myself, that a big part of us stays over there on the battlefield. We never bring our entire person, our personality, our characteristics, our beliefs. We never bring them fully back from the battlefield. There's a big chunk of us that's left behind. And to really overcome all of the symptoms, results, I should say, of post-traumatic stress, returning back from war, is you really have to find your new self, be comfortable with your new self, and be willing to live with your new self. That's important for you as the veteran, and it's important for those around you. Those around you really need to be able to live with that new person, accept who they are, support them in any way possible. Don't let them go off the deep end. It's going to be hard to help them, but do what you have to do to support them when they get back from war. Because it really is hard, and the reason why it's hard to leave war is you've invested a big chunk of you. You've survived. Whether it was 3 months, 6 months, a year, 18 months, you survived. You're a survivor, and war comes down to, historically, all the wars, it's survival of the fittest, survival of the luckiest sometimes, and survival of the warrior. And you won. You came back. Whether you came back injured, you came back, uninjured, you won. You won that survivor war. And it's, I always told people over there, and people that ask me how war is, I said it's kill or be killed. That's war. And you weren't killed. There was a lot of us that made it alive. It should be easy to come home, right? But it's not. It really is not easy to come home from war. And why is that? We're a survivor. We did the killing. We weren't the ones killed. A lot of our friends, our brothers, our sisters in arms were killed over there, and we bring that weight with us back. And the enemy was killed, in the gunfights, the battles, the attacks, the ambushes, the IEDs. You won. So why is it so hard to come back from war? Well, we were high functioning over there. We were running off adrenaline. We finally got to do what we trained to do our whole lives in the military. Our whole military life, we've trained to fight, trained to fight, trained to fight. That we heard that from basic training through AIT into our permanent duty stations. And then finally, when you get to war, you use that training, you fight, you're successful, you win. And unfortunately, sometimes you want more of that. We all came back wanting more war. It's a normal feeling to feel that. I came back really kind of hung up and obsessive of what went on over there. For a long time when I came back, I was watching Live Leak. It was a channel that was showing both our side as the Americans and the Iraqi side, just showing war, raw footage of war. And I found myself diving into that every day. I had to watch it. And a lot of other, my friends, my brothers that came back were watching Live Leak too. Why were we so obsessed with what we just left? I can remember a part of me that just, when I got back to Kuwait, it was just like a big sigh of relief. It's like, I made it. I made it alive, victory. But then you get back to the States and all that wears off and you just want to go back. Why is that? As I kind of search for those answers, as sick as it is, or some people see I'm human, it was a rush. It was what I trained to do. I got to fight. I got to use those tactics. I won. It just was hard to leave that alone. Put that away. File it away as history. So here we are back in the States. We're slowly losing our purpose. I'm hitting rock bottom. My friends and I are obsessing on what went on over there, and we were proud of it. Actually, we were proud of what we did, what we accomplished. Whether it was good, bad, or ugly, we made it. We accomplished something, but I was missing it. I was missing that war. I came back, and now it was hard to live. And why was it hard to live? It was much simpler to live in war. Unfortunately, you woke up, you went through your day. And what you had to do is accomplish the missions you were given, get the tasks done you were given, make sure the health and welfare of those around you, everybody survived, everybody was taken care of, everybody was healthy. We're all ready to die for each other. And then we made it through another day. It was a simple life. All my bills were on automatic payment. If I had any bills, I didn't have to worry about anything. Except just survive, and the men around me, the men and women, survive. That's what our purpose was over there. It was so easy to live. But we came back, and it was hard to return from war, just because now I'm seeing this person, as all that starts to wear off, the months fly by. Even the years fly by. It's still hard to just give that up, give that profession up. It's what I was designed and programmed to do. But in the months after we returned, you really felt like you were missing out on what was happening over there. It was something that we helped start from the beginning, I should say. Unfortunately, we're starting from the beginning or jumping into missions, crossing the lines, people holding the fort, and we pushed onward, pushed north. And now you're watching on the news and you're feeling like, wow, I could be over there helping those people. or helping my brothers and sisters survive, or helping the fight, or being part of the mission, you start feeling left out. And that's what a bunch of us were starting to feel like, oh, we got to get back over there. Even though inside you're saying, I don't want to go back over there. War is hell. I do not want to get back over there. But that soldier part of you says you have to get there. You have to get back in the fight. You're not done yet. So that's one of the big reasons why it's so hard to leave war. And for those, the loved ones that see that, I don't have a good answer on how you can support, them missing war or feeling left out, but just comfort them. Let them know you're happy that they're back. Don't. So many people come back to Confrontation and they just instantly go, it was so much easier just to be in war. I didn't have to fight with my spouse. I didn't have to put up with all this boyfriend-girlfriend drama. I didn't have to worry about alcohol and trying to take me down. I didn't have to worry about drugs and trying to take me down. I was there. I was fighting. I had a purpose. I didn't have to worry about all these other people around me other than those that are fighting with me on the front lines. And that was it, So when people come back and they start showing resistance, to you, they're not really showing resistance to you. They're feeling left out of the war. They want to go back, or they feel like they haven't accomplished enough, or they feel like they left things unfinished. So, it's not you. It's just how we're programmed to be. Big chunk of us stays in war. We never come back. So, I would say, support them, love them, comfort them, try to help them not make bad decisions with alcohol, drugs, violence. It's going to be tough. It's a tough road after war for both the person coming back and the people living with them, but you just got to support them the best you can, and encourage them to go see counseling if they need it. Encourage them to go to their VA appointments. Encourage them to go to their medical appointments, to their mental health appointments. But don't push it. Don't tell them they have to do it, because a hard-headed veteran does not like to hear, you have to go do this. They want to go do it on their own. So encourage them, support them, and just know, hopefully a little bit of this video helps you understand the background, that it's not easy to return from war, and here's some of the reasons why. Now, to get into me, we left it at episode 1 of how I lost my purpose. What were some of the things in war that I saw that made me lose my purpose when I came back? I started feeling like I wish I could redo things, do things over, constantly run things through my mind of, if I would have done that different, the outcome would have been this. And you start really rehearsing and kind of going back and saying, all that hindsight. But a couple of the key things that I brought home with me as baggage, or, that'll stick with me the rest of my life. And a lot of people saw this. I believe it was around December 4th, 2003. We're doing a mission. And my crew, we were with our colonel, and my crew identified rocket-propelled grenades, RPGs, being fired, and they kind of went screaming over our head. And we identified the point of origin, like, boom, it was right over there. We were positioned well enough to just see that point of origin. And I told my guys, the colonel looks at me and says, well, let's get going. He's good by himself. We're hitting the road. We're taking off. And we came around a corner. I told my guys, if that truck moves, light it up. That was me making that call, because I saw, and my guys saw, weapons being fired from that area, from that vehicle. I mean, that vehicle is ready to take off. And we come around the corner, and there it was, getting ready to leave, like plowing through the mud. And my guys are good listeners. We're combat trained, we're hardened, we're well rehearsed with each other, and they light up the vehicle with 50 caliber. Truck stops, and men fall out both sides. Grown men on both sides fall out of the truck. And both appear to be injured, and all of a sudden 2 kids pop up in the middle of the truck. 2 young kids. And my heart fell, Here we are in war. These people were guilty, and they had brought kids with them. And all I could do is just run to that truck and hope to God these 2 kids weren't hurt, that we didn't put bullets in these kids. And thankfully we didn't. But now here I am holding 2 kids, and we just made contact, we just fired our weapons off. We're in an area that's hostile, and I'm holding 2 kids, trying to make sense of everything. And I never rehearsed for this. I never trained for this. So now it was something brand new I had to deal with that I wasn't trained to do. And that right there, a lot of people told me, some of my closest guys and captain, colonel came up to me after I got back to base, and they all wanted to know, are you okay? 'Cause it was a time that just people saw me break inside. There was a big chunk of me just instantly gone. Here I am making the call. Light it up is what I told my guys, and then 2 kids pop up after we lit up that truck with 50 caliber machine gun fire. And now I'm holding 2 kids, looking down. Their dad is tugging at my leg a little bit, telling me he loves his kids. And I have 2 kids screaming in my arms. I'm sure they were telling me that they love their dad. And I didn't know what to do. So that right there, a big chunk of me was lost right there. And I came home without that piece of me anymore. And every time a baby cries now, I think of that. I'm left to live with my decision, as the commander in combat, for my guys, my gun trucks. I made that call. I have to live with it the rest of my life. But every time I hear a baby cry, I think of that. I brought that home with me, and and I didn't have to think about that much over there. But again, it was hard to return from war because I didn't have to think about that over there day to day. I had it happen, I filed it away, and I just continued to live on, day after day over there, fighting the fight, living one more day, making sure my guys lived one more day. And when I came home, I had to start dealing with that. It was time to unwind, recap, and think of what happened. And there was other things that happened, but that was probably the most impactful time in my life when I had to start really thinking about that, returning home from war. It's not easy. It is not easy. Hearing a baby cry and thinking about that exact scene, I can see it in my mind every day. Holding 2 kids crying, screaming, their dad telling me that he loves his kids, tugging at my leg with bullet holes in him. And so that is why I started hitting rock bottom. I started really thinking about that and what I did over there. I made that call, I made that decision, and I had to live with that decision the rest of my life. and thinking about that family, what I did to that family over there, really, really put some weight on me. So, what I covered in episode 1, if you haven't seen that, I hit rock bottom, and this is one of the biggest reasons why I hit rock bottom is living with that decision. It's not easy thinking about that you took lives over there. It's war. It's either kill or be killed. But that one there, when kids were involved, was really hard for me. So that's why it was so hard for me to come back from war and to live with that decision. And, to this day, it still haunts me. I hear a baby cry and instantly I'm like, oh, I remember that day so plainly, so clearly, and people coming up to me after the whole event and asking me, are you all right? You okay? You good? And I thought I was good, shake it off, shrug it off. Yep, I'm good. Let's get back to, being the warrior that I am. So that really helped me, or not helped me. That really kind of hit me hard when I came back. So, I don't obsess over it anymore, but I do live with it every day. Do I think about it every day? No, unless I'm around a crying baby. When my daughter was born, every time I heard her cry, it just tugged at my heart, thinking, what it would be like to be on that other receiving end, and should I have felt that way? I'm a hardened Calvary scout, coming back from war, but that is where I really learned that I was a gentle warrior. I was a warrior when needed, and I was gentle by heart when I had to be. And I didn't discover that until I got back from war, unfortunately, and I kind of defined myself as the gentle warrior when I came back. But so that's that was my major turning point in war, and what really made it so hard for me to return from war. So join me again on episode 3 as we take this journey together. And I would love to hear your comments below, whether you're a veteran or supporting of one, on why it's so hard to return from war, or why it's so hard to live with somebody when they return from war. Because it's not easy. And for those that really stick around and help those that come back from war and live with them and support them, thank you so much. I hope my little insight and my little experience helps you in your journey, helps kind of guide you, whether you're a veteran or somebody supporting a veteran, and just really understanding, it's not easy to come back from war. So thank you so much, and I will see you again on a new episode 3. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Check out our Facebook page, The Gentle Warrior Journey, and we'll see you again soon. Remember, this world thrives off kindness. It needs kindness. And just remember, kindness is contagious. So go out and do good things for yourself. Go out and do good things for the world, for those around you. Because doing good things for others really is good for yourself. Kindness is really contagious. People see good things happening and they want to go do good things. So join me again, and we'll see you again on the Gentle Warrior Journey.